now I'm going to lead us in an embodied prayer practice. And this week, it's going to be focusing on Lent. I'm going to call it an invitation. Lent is an invitation, but I'm going to talk about Lent just a little bit for folks that might not be familiar with it. I was raised Protestant. I wasn't that familiar with Lent until I met Michael back in the 90s. But I actually love Lent. And I know some people, it's kind of has a little baggage attached to Lent, and it might make them a little anxious or don't feel the joy of it. And maybe that's because I didn't grow up with Lent. And some people kind of see Lent as rigid self-denial and like an atonement for sins. But I'm going to talk to you guys about how I see Lent. And I see it as a really joyous time of year. So Lent began last week on Ash Wednesday. And actually even the 2 days before that, we call it Shrove Monday and Fat Tuesday, which are like celebration days before Lent. And then on Wednesdays, Ash Wednesday, where they put ashes on your forehead. And actually Michael did that with some of our ashes, where you burn the palms from the year before and make ashes. And on Ash Wednesday is a time to think about your mortality, and from ashes you come and from ashes you will go. There are 40 days of Lent, and those 40 days have to do with Jesus's 40 days in the wilderness, because it's a Christian tradition. And there are, this is the first Sunday. There are 6 Sundays in Lent, including Palm Sunday, and then finally Easter. So here I'm going to share 2 ways that I like to think about Lent and why it is such a joyous thing for me. And the first way is just thinking about Jesus's 40 days in the wilderness, and where he fasted and prayed. And I just try to imagine like Lent being it can be for us, like what would happen if we did 40 days of fasting, prayer, and like the removal of distractions, and what could that bring to your spirit? And so that's kind of how I see Lent, as these 40 days of kind of trying to quiet ourselves down. And we can do that, and we do that by giving up something. People always say, what did you give up for Lent? Give up something. So we give up something, but in that, it kind of helps us, or helps me, to have a little bit of a clarity, grounding, kind of awakening of my spirit, and just being more mindful and present, because I'm that habit energy of whatever we're giving up. I have to be connected to that, and so that it just brings presence and awareness, and it slows me down too. Slows me down to help me see the sacredness, the wholeness that is all around me. So that's kind of the first way I think about Lent, is that. And the second way is contemplating mortality. So I said Ash Wednesday helps us to contemplate mortality, but if we can see Lent, the question of Lent, what did you give up for Lent? Seeing that as a reminder that everything we have we're going to give up at some point, because everything, our friends, our community, our bodies, ourselves, are all going to be given up. They're all literally on loan to us. And so seeing Lent as a time to contemplate mortality. So those are the 2 ways I see Lent. And so if you want to do Lent, that might be a way you can look at Lent and not have it be something that just like condemning, or I think sometimes people feel that, but feel the joy of it, and the joy of thinking about mortality, the joy of getting rid of distractions. So with that, we're going to do a guided meditation here, and then a prayer about this guided meditation, getting rid of distractions. So I just want you to get in a comfortable spot if you can, and just notice your breath again. You might want to shut your eyes as you're breathing in and out. And what I I would like you to do today is just imagine that you are in the desert. So around you, you can see sand, maybe a few sparse plants. The sun is shining. And maybe you notice a gentle breeze on you. And just in and out. Sit yourself down there, maybe on a rock, maybe on the sand. And feel the sparseness around you. Feel the removal of distractions. As you're in and out, just sitting in that spot. And again, seeing Lent as invitation. I invite you this month, this Lenten season, these 40 plus days, that if you maybe during your meditation want to just come back to this spot, this desert, while you're meditating and just sitting and just enjoying being the aloneness, the quietness, and the peacefulness of this desert. Great Sacred, may we keep whatever Lent we can, whether self-chosen or imposed. May we use this time as a reminder of our mortality and our imperfections. May we see it as a chance for renewal and the building of character and spirit. May this time help us to awaken our souls to see the wholeness of life, the connections to everything, and the sacred available all the time. Peace and amen and amen and amen. And I'll let Michael take over.